Choppy trade on the street amid lackluster global cues and earnings disappointing. The benchmark stays above the 24,200 mark, while broader indices see some outperformance. Private banks are the biggest drags today, while metals and pharma lend some support.
Private banking stocks come under pressure after mixed earnings. HDFC Bank and Axis Bank fell on margin disappointments, while ICICI Bank delivered an inline quarter and Kotak Mahindra beat the profit estimates.
Mid-sized banking stocks remained in focus after mixed Q1 set. Federal Bank and RBL Bank reported strong profit growth and improving asset quality, while Yes Bank posted steady earnings with a stable bad loans. IDBI Bank also delivered higher profit and net interest income.
And shares of Reliance Industries remain steady after the company posted a stronger than expected first quarter. Brokerages remain bullish following the results, citing stronger refining earnings and reiterating positive ratings on the stock.
Shares of Tatva Chintan surged after reporting strong double-digit growth in revenue, operating profit and net profit. Meanwhile, India Cements returned to profit on sharply higher operating margins, while Tata Tech reported an inline quarter with steady sequential growth in revenue and profitability.
And Prime Minister Modi called for a productive monsoon session of the parliament, saying constructive proceedings are essential for the nation's welfare. He also hailed the Sky Route Aerospace's successful Vikram 1 launch, saying it reflects the limitless talent and aspirations of India's young innovators and strengthens the country's global standing.
Security has been stepped up in central Delhi as thousands of protesters gathered for the Cockroach Janata Party's Chalo Sansad March on the first day of Parliament's monsoon session. Police used batons to disperse sections of the crowd amid prohibitory orders, while activist Sonam Wangchuk remains in hospital.
Hello and good morning. You tune in to Buy Now, Sell Now. I'm Ankita Saxena, and with me is Kavita Saplayal. In the next 1 hour, we'll take you through all of that's transpiring on the markets. And of course, this is the show where we get all your stock-specific questions also answered. So stay tuned for all of that action. But before we get going with the rest of the show, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up right now. Well, we have recovered, very well from the day's lows. It's 60 points uptick, 0.25% uptick coming in from the day's lows on the Nifty. We have managed to scale this 24,220 levels back. Nonetheless, we're trading with cuts of 0.4%. Now, remember, it is the global oil prices that is weighing heavy on Indian markets. Brent crude, that is sitting at $85 per barrel. And on account of that, we have, that drawdown seeing in the market. Even Nifty Bank is being weighed down on the back of the earnings that a lot of banking names that came out with. In fact, if you look at the private sector banks, they are the ones that are taking the knock, whether it's an HDFC or whether it's an Axis Bank, a Kotak Mahindra Bank, they're all trading with cuts of, in fact, Axis and HDFC are down almost 5%. Kotak Mahindra Bank is down and out 2% in the trading session. But it's really the PSU banks that are buzzing in trade, and they're really holding the fort for the banking names, especially PNB, which has posted a steady set for this quarter, and that's trading up in a way of 4.2% in trade, whether Canara Bank, Union Bank, Indian Bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, they are all trading off with gains of more than 2%. So it's the PSU basket that is really in focus in today's trading session. We have Nifty Metals, the other segment that's doing well, that's shining in trade with gains of 1%. Welspun Corp, Vedanta, JSW Steel, another earnings candidate, National Aluminium, Jindal Steel, Hindustan Zinc, they're all trading with the gains of more than 1.5%+. Besides that, we have Nifty Pharma, Nifty Energy, and Nifty FMCG in that pecking order that are doing well. But let's talk about the broader end of the market also and how that is shaping up. That's clearly outperforming, especially the mid-cap space that is doing very well. 0.3% uptick coming in on mid-caps. Small caps also trading with gains of 0.1%. So it's really the broader end of the market that is seeing a shade of green today. But let's talk about, the ones that are really doing well in the trading session. As far as the mid-caps are concerned, JSW Energy, that's up in a way 3.5%. Whether it is Colgate-Palmolive, on Oil India, MCX, Indian Bank, they're all trading with gains of more than 2.5%. And remember, all the oil counters, whether it's an ONGC or an Oil India, they all would be, trading up today in today's trading session on account of elevated crude oil prices and of course the oil marketing companies, whether it's an IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, they are declining in trade. And if you can pull up the charts for Interglobe Aviation also, on account of that, we'll see a knock coming there also. So see BPCL trading with cuts of 1.5%. Interglobe Aviation is also down more than 0.5%. But we'll talk more about the markets, Kavita. Let's get going with the show then.
Absolutely. And one very important update, ISM 2.0 is the next phase of India's tech ambitions, which shifts government's focus from manufacturing to developing a full semiconductor ecosystem. Our colleague Sumita caught up with MeitY Secretary S. Krishnan, who emphasized that compound semiconductor fabs remain key focus. Let's listen in.
ISM 2.0, I think, should see a further deepening of the semiconductor ecosystem in India. We clearly will target at least 3 to 4 fabs. One, a conventional logic or memory fab, silicon-based fab. Then possibly one, definitely a display fab. And 2 or 3 maybe compound semiconductor fabs. This would be broadly our goal or target in terms of deepening the fab ecosystem. Advanced packaging is another important component that we'll be focusing on. And in addition, I think the truly innovative part about this is the ecosystem approach in terms of making sure that equipment manufacturers, materials manufacturers, gases, chemicals, and testing devices manufacturers, all of them are enabled to come into the country. On top of that, of course, is the modifications we'll be making to the design-linked incentive scheme so that we are able to promote more fabulous companies in the country as well. So these would be some of the key elements of ISM 2.0.
All right, but let's talk about the stock that is doing very well, and in fact in the PSU basket that is really pulling up the sentiment for the entire PSB, private, the public sector banks, whether it's a PNB that is doing well, that's up and away 4.5% on account of its Q1 results. A very steady state is what we are seeing. The NII seeing an uptick of 4% on a sequential basis. The NIMs are also up 23 bips on a sequential basis despite the higher funding costs. They have a strong asset quality and of course they're seeing healthy earnings on the PAT front as well, a 214% of an uptick on a year-on-year basis. So that's the result for PNB, but we are also joined by the management, Ashok Chandra, MD and CEO of PNB, who's now joining us. Hi, good morning, Mr. Chandra. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us today.
Good morning, madam.
Mr. Chandra, congratulations on a strong quarter for PNB. Now, while most of the guidance metrics appear on track after Q1, which are the areas of the business that gives you the highest confidence, and which of the areas do you think still needs the most execution over the remaining 3 quarters?
I think our RAM sector is doing quite well, and within the RAM, MSME and Agri has picked up very well. MSME consistency is there in the growth. Around 19.5 to 20% growth is there. Last year, every quarter it was there, and this quarter also in this financial year, we are seeing the same growth happening now. Agri priority sector, in fact, good growth has been seen in this quarter. 16.5% growth is there. And retail, core retail also, it has done very well, 17.5%. Corporate sector is also 10% growth is there. So I think overall, all these sectors is doing quite well now in the bank.
All right, Mr. Chandra, hi, good morning. This is Kavita also joining in. So credit growth is guided at 12 to 13% while you continue to exit low-yield assets. Just wanted to understand, how do you balance growth versus profitability, sir?
Yeah, in fact, if you see the growth which I have mentioned, around 15 to 16% growth is happening across the sector. And but overall, the credit growth is 12.7%. It is because there are some low-yielding credits are there in the system, which we are replenishing with some good profitable the sectors now. And that is the reason we have given the guidance of 12 to 13%. Otherwise, the real growth is happening in the bank is around 15 to 16% now. So that trend will continue and till Q3, I think we will be reshuffling the balance sheet and we will be managing the good portfolio and replenishing all those low-yielding advances.
Right. So also the CASA remains an industry-wide challenge despite your guidance of 38%. What differentiates your strategy from the peers? And if CASA remains around the current levels, can the bank still comfortably achieve its NIM guidance?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, there are three components in the CASA. One is the current account, and the bank has shown a growth of more than 17% in the current account portfolio. And in the saving, there are two components, SB individual and SB institutional. Now, challenge what we are facing and all the banks are facing in the institutional front, that is the government deposit, which used to be there in the saving institutional account. I think that is slowly it is coming out. So, but SB individual, that we call it as a core deposit in the CASA portfolio, that has grown with 9.3%. And the steps which the bank had taken in the last year, in the first quarter of the last year, where we had revamped our entire SB portfolio, that has started contributing in a big way in the saving individual portfolio. And despite the negative growth in the SB institutional, I think we are able to maintain the CASA growth to the tune of around 6.5%. So we are still expecting that we will be touching a growth of 38%. CASA percentage will be 38%. And in this quarter, the performance is around 36.5%. But I think definitely by end of the financial year, I think we should be in a position to cross 38% CASA percentage.
Corporate loan growth has been relatively measured despite a strong sanction pipeline. What gives you the confidence that disbursements will accelerate over the next few quarters? And also, are you seeing any improvement in pricing power in fresh corporate loans compared to maybe 6 months ago?
In fact, in 25-26, total corporate loan book bank had sanctioned to the tune of around 4 lakh crore. Against 2 lakh crore happened in 24-25. So bank is accelerating the corporate loan growth. And we are very mindful here that whatever growth we are bringing it has to be a profitable growth. And that is the reason having 4 lakh crore of sanctions happening in 25-26, still the corporate loan book has grown with 10%. Because we have replenished a big amount under this corporate loan book. And going forward also in Q2 and Q3, still the corporate loan book is, we are seeing a good traction, but we will be reshuffling some low-yielding advances still having in the system. So that will definitely add to the profitability of the bank, and as well as we will grow at around 10% in the corporate loan book.
Okay, right. So also, the retail, MSME and agriculture continue to drive growth. Which of these segments do you believe can sustainably deliver the highest risk-adjusted returns over the next 3 years?
I think entire this RAM portfolio, because the RAM is whatever we bring the portfolio, it is a very, very consistency is there. And we all know that the yield also comes under this retail, agri and MSME sector. So one is that consistency will be there in the growth, and as well as the profitability also will be maintained in this particular activity. So that is the reason bank is putting a lot of focus on the RAM activity. And still a lot of opportunities are there because we are still having around 56 to 57% the RAM share in the overall credit portfolio, which we want to cross it to 60, 61% going forward. So still enough room is there for us to grow in the RAM sector.
Perfect. Would you expect the mix of the loan book to change meaningfully by FY28?
Yeah, by that time, definitely, I think 60-40 will happen, 60% RAM and 40% corporate. But still, I will clarify here that we are not averse to any portfolio where we are getting a good yield. So focus is on the yield on advances, good profitable activity. Whether it comes from the corporate also, we don't mind it raising the corporate loan book to 50% if that yield is going to come from that particular sector. So, but generally we are seeing that RAM contributes in the profitability side, and that is the reason we are keeping a goal of around 60% by end of next financial year, that is 27-28, to reach that level.
Right. So you have also built additional floating provisions ahead of the ECL implementation. How comfortable are you with the current provision buffer?
This quarter also, we have kept around 390 crore as a provision for the ECL, which is mandated by RBI also. So altogether, we have now 2,435 crore provision earmarked for the ECL. I think going forward, when the ECL transition will happen from the 1st of April 2027, I think bank will be in a very, very comfortable position, because you are seeing our CRAR also, it is more than 18%. So and the CET also more than 14%. So we don't see any challenge when the ECL implementation will happen in the next financial year.
All right, Mr. Chanda, thank you so much for joining in and talking to us and giving all the answers for our viewers today. Thank you so much. With that,
Thank you very much.
With that, it's time for a short break as well. But then post that, we'll be joined by Jugal Patel and Gaurang Shah, experts on the show, who will be answering your stock-specific questions. So just in case you want to know about your stock investments, we'll be flashing a QR code on the screen. Just scan it. You will be joined by a WhatsApp number. And send across your questions there. Write on the name of the stock, the price at which you bought it, and the timeline till when you want to hold that counter. And we will give you live answers right after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and it's time to answer your stock-specific question. Jugal Patel, Gaurang Shah, both the guests are joined live with us. Good morning. Hi. Welcome to the show, both of you. And we'll also start taking our WhatsApp questions. This question is coming in from Shaurya Saxena from Gurugram. And the stocking concern is HDFC Bank. Should I hold or book losses? Time frame is 7 to 10 months. And will result play an important part? Interesting question. Gaurang, I'll come to you. But before answering Shaurya on his query on HDFC Bank, let's just take a sense of the market from you, and then we can go ahead with the strategy.
Hi, Kavita. Morning to you, and morning to all the viewers of ET Now, and to my good friend Jigar as well. A small disclosure, all recommendations that I'll be sharing with you this morning on your show, they're part of our fundamental research team recommendation from a long-term point of view. Our company, Geojit, or myself, we do not have any kind of personal investments, no financial interest, no conflict of interest, but we share similar investment ideas with our clients. They might have their investment interest. So good part, Kavita, about this morning is that we have managed to recover 24,200. So that's a good part. Bad news is that Brent is at 90 and rupee is at 96.20 the last time that I saw. These two could be a little bit of an overhang. And along with that, over the weekend, I was in discussion with your colleague Harsh on Saturday, private sector banks numbers Q1, Axis, HDFC, ICICI, Kotak, and PNB as well. I think the shock has come in from the numbers from Axis, HDFC, and Kotak. ICICI has done fairly well. PNB has also done fairly well. But there is an overhang and pressure from the bank Nifty or Nifty Bank. And that is one of the primary reasons why we've seen the kind of opening that we've seen. And of course, not to forget the weak rupee and Brent at $90. So my sense, Kavita, is that if we don't break 24,000, then possibility of taking over 24,200 and beyond towards 24,300. And eventually, if we do that, I think then we can look forward to 24,500. And the reasoning behind me saying this is that, okay, last week, Saturday was a little bit of disappointment in terms of private sector banks, some of them. But I expect the earnings this week and the weeks to come to support the sentiments in the market. And monsoon has also progressed a little bit, though north and northeast has seen a heavy downpour, which has resulted into casualties. But I think this should do a catch-up. So a little bit of positive as far as the market is concerned.
All right, so that's the view on the PSU banks and, of course, the market also. But let's move on and get a question answered. Shaurya Saxena, we answered his questions on HDFC Bank. Now let's move on to Shankar, who's writing in from Manipal. He says he has M&M and the entry price is 3,062. Is it good to hold or sell? He's not given a holding time frame, but he wants to know if M&M would be a good hold. So let me come to you, Gaurang, on M&M. He's sitting at a profit. For the next 1 year, would you recommend a hold?
Hi, Ankita. Morning to you as well. So again, our disclosure positive on HDFC Bank. Of course, Kavita had asked me that question. So despite of the numbers, and I always believe one thing, Ankita, is that if you are invested in a strong fundamental company, and if 1 or 2 quarters are a little bit of disappointment, that should not be a reason to exit from your long-term strategy and goals, right? So, and if you have investable amount, you can add to that stock. So HDFC Bank is a buy from our side. M&M happens to be one of the top picks amongst the auto player. It has got best of all the world. It has got UVs, it has got SUVs, it has got commercial vehicles. Export market looks extremely robust to me. Personally, my feeling is that all the FTAs that India has signed should give a tremendous amount of boost for export for Indian automobile manufacturing companies. So first of all, hold on to it. If you got in at higher level, if you have investable amount, you can add as well.
Perfect. Let's move on. And the other WhatsApp question is coming in from Chandrasekharan, and this is on MTAR Tech. Buy price is 6200, time horizon is 6 months. Should I exit considering the fluctuation in the price? Also, he's asking if there could be a target price for almost a year. Jigar, I'll come to you. The buy price 6200, pretty high.
Definitely. See, first of all, in MTAR technology, we have seen a phenomenal run from 1400 till 8000, 8500. So currently the structure is definitely negative. The major swing of 6200 is taken out. So I advise him to definitely exit at this level because by looking at the weekly chart, I see that the correction could be much deeper, even below 5000. So I think SL trailing, or maybe if he decides to exit at this given price, then definitely he should exit.
All right, let's move on from MTAR Tech. That's locked in lower circuit of 5% today. Let's move on. Shekhar is writing in about Bharti Airtel. The entry price is 1800 rupees. Recently, BSNL launched satellite phone. Will this bring any disruption in the telecom sector? Interesting question. Coming to you, Gaurang. Firstly, the question that he's asked, BSNL has launched satellite phone. Will this disrupt the telecom sector? And also your view on Bharti Airtel for the next 1 year.
So let me clarify, satellite phones are not meant for each and everyone, according to me, Ankita. They are meant specifically for certain category. You don't find satellite phones on a common man's hand. So minus this concern, disclosure again, Ankita, we are positive on Bharti Airtel among the 2 top players in terms of cellular service providers. I think the numbers are due this week or next week. Correct me if I'm wrong, not too sure about that. But my sense is that ARPUs, not only because of voice, but data usage is going to move up northwards, slowly and steadily. Large subscriber base in India, and out of that, large percentage is smartphone users. And now with the penetration in rural India, as far as connectivity is concerned, I think the usage of voice and data is going to go up considerably. Along with that, an upward revision in the tariff is also something that one can expect, and possibly this calendar half of 2026. Stay invested in Bharti Airtel, and if you get any reason on a lower side, if you want to make a fresh investment, you can do that. And if you want to add to your position, you can also do that from a long-term point of view.
So stay invested. In fact, if you want to add, that can also be done in Bharti Airtel. Other WhatsApp question coming in from Rajveer Singh, Ludhiana, and the question is on Sansera Engineering. Entry price is 1,500. The promoters are selling the shares every quarter, and he wants to know whether he should be invested in it and what can be the target for almost a year. Jigar, a quick tech check first on this.
See, in Sansera Engineering, again, the chart is looking bullish, but the internal health of the chart is deteriorating day by day because, see, since last 1.5 months, we are constantly seeing higher rise, but MACD as well as the histogram of the MACD is continuously making lower high structure. So this is clearly a bearish divergence. So as of now, I would give a level of 3,250 to trail the stop loss. If it is going closing below this particular level, then definitely you should completely book the profit.
Okay, let's move on Sansera. engineering. We'll move on to the next question that's coming in from Nivendu Sharma, who's writing in from Patna. He says, here's Sona BLW, the entry price is 600 rupees. He wants to know for the long-term horizon, what are the prospects of the stock? Should he exit completely around the current prices? Here's a flexible perspective. Okay, Gaurang, let me come to you. He's a long-term investor. Sona BLW, he's sitting at a profit. What should be the strategy for the next 1 year?
No, Ankit, there are no specifics on Sona BMW because we don't have coverage, but let me give you a broader view which may help the caller or the investor. So this company happens to be OEM segment company, and as we were just discussing M&M, Ankita, my strong view, this is my personal view, Ankita, that auto sector is going to be one of the greatest beneficiaries, not only from the demand from the local market, but also the opportunity that lies ahead in terms of FTAs and global market access. So if you are of an opinion that the auto sector is going to do well, then by default, Ankita, auto ancillary, tire manufacturing companies and battery manufacturing companies will do well because to make a vehicle, you need components from all these companies. And of course, without a tire, you can't even ride a bicycle. That's a fact. So it's a strong company, a very strong player. And the good part about this investment is that he got in at a very lower level. I won't go into specifics of buy and hold, but it's a reasonably strong player in the auto ancillary segment.
All right. Also, Gaurang, he has another stock, GNA Axle, that reported its quarterly numbers also 2 days back in a robust quarter that they've posted. In fact, some very good returns in the last 6 months and in the last 1 month also, like 60% in 6 months. And, even in the last 1 month, it has moved up almost 30%. Should he hold on to it? He's sitting at a profit right now. Can he hold it for the next 1 year?
But this is for me, Ankita?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So again, we don't have coverage on this one, but let me give a little bit of history about this. So this used to be one of the top performers in terms of not only demand from global market, but also opportunities in the global market. More importantly, from the global market perspective. So then there was a little bit of issue in terms of export market being very subdued, impacted the numbers. I hope the management gets its act right. And I hope the delivery of number that we've seen and the kind of news flows that we've seen will be a tailwind positive for the company. This is also one of the players in the OEM segment as far as auto ancillary is concerned. Don't have coverage. I won't go into specific buy sell.
We also have a live viewer on the phone line. We have Mr. Basavraj from Karnataka. Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir.
You can ask your question. Our experts can hear you.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes,
sir,
they can hear you.
RCF?
You can ask your question. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, RCF 1 year target kya, sir?
You have bought it at 145.
Okay. हाँ, sir, 145, sir.
And you want 1 year's time horizon?
हाँ, sir, 1 year time, sir.
All right. Gaurang, I don't think you have it in your coverage anymore, right?
Our targets were in place. So Kavita, we had coverage. Our targets were in place. We have removed the coverage, but overall, the entire fertilizer stroke urea sector looks positive, specifically with fertilizer. We like this sector. We have a coverage on a company called Coromandel International. Since we don't have coverage, I think possibly Jigar would be in a better position to answer this one.
Not sure about the targets, but a short-term target and maybe a stop loss if you might want to recommend.
See, in RCF, definitely we have seen a tremendous selling from 140 levels. So currently the price structure is taking the support on bullish trend line right from May 2026. So as of now, he can even add at this particular level because almost the indicators are very much oversold, and we are expecting a support on Ichimoku cloud where current price action is taking support. So overall, the bounce is expected till 140, 145. So he can average at this particular level, keeping a stop loss of below 123 on daily closing basis.
All right, let's move on then to the next question that's coming from Bala from Coimbatore. He says he is Dr. Reddy's lab. The entry price is 1,245. The question is, should he average Dr. Reddy's at current levels or wait for all the dips? Is it a good stock for the next 1 year? Jigar, I'll come to you. Is this the right time to average in on Dr. Reddy's? And would you recommend a hold for the next 1 year?
See, definitely in terms of Dr. Reddy, because see, Dr. Reddy, by and large, if we look at the weekly structure, right from 2024 till date, it has been trading in a broad range of 1400 till 1170. So currently, it is at the lower end of the range and exactly near the flat line of the Ichimoku cloud on weekly structure. So this is a very solid support in terms of levels if we see. So 1200 and 1220 would be the level to average, keeping a stop loss of below 1140 on weekly closing basis. And overall, again, see, I'm expecting the higher range, which is 1400 as a target.
1400 as a target can be achieved, but then 1140 is the stop loss that you're recommending. Let's move on. Let's take this question again on. This is by Mr. Ajay Kapoor from Mumbai, and the stock is Vikram Solar. Entry price is 189. He wants a long-term view, and also if at the current rate he can add more. Gaurang?
So extremely positive on the entire sector, whether it is to do with clean and green energy production, Kavita, or whether it is to do with the companies which are suppliers of cells and panels for solar. As a disclosure, there is no standalone recommendation, but when the IPO was there, Kavita, we had come out with a subscribe recommendation for Vikram Solar. So I would keep that IPO note as a base of my recommendation. And if you're a long-term investor, continue to hold.
All right, with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back and get your questions answered on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned into Buy Now Sell Now, a show that gets all your stock-specific questions answered. The number is flashing on top of the screen, so do write into us and we'll get them answered by a fundamental and a technical expert. Now, let's resume with all the questions that you have been sending in to us. Meher is writing in from Visakhapatnam. Meher says that she wants to invest a lakh in each of the Vedanta entities for the next 5 years. Please guide. Okay. Gaurang, coming to you, would you recommend investing in all the 5 Vedanta entities? Because it's like, you know, I mean, of course, there are different businesses, but like placing your eggs in one basket, what would you recommend, or would you pick out the business that perhaps that you would like to recommend for the next 1 year?
Ankita, I wish this question was asked to me before the demerger and split, because we carried a positive coverage. We carried a positive coverage.
That would be a smart answer, Gaurang.
So we did have a positive coverage, Ankita, on Vedanta, which was the flagship company. Now, of course, some of the businesses have got listed as a separate entity. So currently, we are maintaining a positive stance on the flagship company, that is Vedanta Limited. We have a positive coverage. On others, my research team need a little bit more time to come out with a recommendation on the fundamental side. But you are absolutely right. If this is the only lag that you have, and if you don't have any other investment in the equity market, then it is never ever advisable to put all your eggs in one basket. So my advice would be that maybe out of the lakh of rupees, you can put 50,000 into Vedanta, and the other 50,000, though she has not asked for other recommendation, but my view is, excuse me, you can possibly look at a banking stock. And in banking, I'll suggest 2. Indian Bank from Public Sector Bank and ICICI Bank from the Private Sector Bank. Both have come out with the numbers, and both banks have reported stellar set of numbers for the first quarter this financial year.
Okay, all right. So that's the recommendation by Gaurang. But let's move on to the next question. JP is writing in from Chennai. He says, when will this go triple digit? It's IDFC is the stock. Okay, he's talking about IDFC Bank, and the entry price is 72 rupees. IDFC first. Okay, the interesting question is he wants to know when will it be a triple digit stock? It's currently at 80 rupees. I mean, the kind of interesting questions people are asking. Gaurang, let me come to you, since I'm sure he's a long-term investor, because clearly triple digit is not happening in the short term. Obviously, you can't answer like when will the triple digit come through, but what would be your view on IDFC first?
So firstly, Kavita, we had a coverage on IDFC first. It did go to, I think, about 120. Maybe Jigar would help me in my memory if that serves me right. And then the stock went down because of the MFI exposure, Ankita, which was a concern last financial year I'm talking about. Then I think the management got their act right. They made good of all their strategy and have kind of improved the situation now. Steady set of numbers, whatever we've seen for the last financial year, last quarter. Currently, since the stock is under review, I am not in a position to give you a buy, sell, and hold. But when will the stock reach 100, triple digit? Now, triple digit can be 100 or it can be 999. So I'm assuming he's talking about 100, not 999. And my view is that with the kind of reported improvement in the earnings, uh, it may take a couple of quarters for IDFC First Bank to regain that triple digit glory that it had attained some time back. But it happens to be a small private sector bank which is improving its earnings capability and visibility.
All right, Jigar, but firstly, we need to get a check on when was IDFC First in triple digits, Jigar, since you will have the tech check on this. Let's clear that up first.
In the month of September 2023, the high was 100.70. And see, currently based on monthly chart, I cannot give you the exact time, but yes, I can give you a level. 87 is a major resistance. Once we are clearing that on monthly chart, then definitely we can see 101 and 102 levels, maybe around 8 to 10 month kind of time.
All right, 8 to 10 months time horizon, 87 is the resistance, not a 3-digit, but maybe you might want to book your profits at this particular level. Next question is again a WhatsApp query coming in from Mr. Vinod Tajan, and Jio Financial is the stock, entry price is 240, outlook for 1 year. Gaurang.
Well, I might, again, give me 30 seconds, Kavita, if you will. Jio Finance was also demerged and listed as a separate entity. What I have witnessed about Jio Finance price movement closer to 210 and 220, the downside looks extremely protected. And at those levels, Kavita, there is a huge delivery-based buying that happens. I don't know who's interested in the stock at those levels, but there's a huge, and this has been repeated over a couple of times. Set of numbers reported last week, correct me if I'm wrong, extremely good, much beyond the street estimates. We have a positive coverage. If I'm not mistaken, the target stands at somewhere close to about 280 to 300 plus, Kavita. So stay invested, and maybe you get an opportunity close to 220, 230, you can add as well and make new investments.
The other question is from Mr. Subrata Ghosh from New Delhi and KPIT Tech. Entry price is 560. Jigar, a quick tech check.
Same KPIT Tech again on this weekly chart. The chart is looking very bearish because continuously we are making lower lows on weekly as well. So as of now, this would be a wait and watch call because we are expecting that there could be a further smaller dip till 530 or even 525. So that level aligns with 2022 May level. So this particular zone would be a very lucrative in terms of buying this particular counter. So 530, 525 would be the ideal zone for buying, and as of now we will wait and watch. Once this particular levels are achieved, 530, 525, then the stop loss would be placed below 480 on daily closing basis, and overall we are expecting gradual move till 710, 720.
All right, let's move on to the next question that's coming in from Chidanand, who's writing in from Mysore. He says he has Avanti Feeds at 1,000 rupees and the time horizon is 3 years. Please advise the target price. All right, Avanti Feeds, a clear outperformer. Gaurang, let me come to you. It's done well for itself. He's willing to hold it for the next 3 years. Would you recommend a hold, or what should be his strategy?
Yes, Sangeeta. So on Avanti Feeds, as a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage. Aquaculture related stock and a direct negative impact because of the announcement made by that intelligent President Trump in America for tariffs. Then, of course, the Supreme Court in US has knocked it down. Again, a direct beneficiary because of that. And a lot more revenues have opened up for this particular company other than US markets. So export happens to be a great tailwind positive for Avanti Feeds. If you are a long-term investor, you can definitely hold on to it. And if you've not invested, don't put all your money at these levels, maybe you can take 25, 30, 40% depending upon your risk appetite exposure. And on dips, you can definitely add to it.
All right, on dips you can add. Let's move on. The other question is from Mr. Girish Iyer from Trivandrum. He's holding MCX at 3156 and he wants to know an upward scope in the short term or an exit is recommended. If that's a recommendation, the other stock is MCX and that's it. 3156 is the buy price. Jigar.
See, in MCX, again, we have been witnessing selling right from last 3 to 4 days, but overall, the stock has taken support exactly near the flat line of 100-day exponential average. So this particular levels even aligns with the previous demand zone from March 2026. So we are expecting a bounce back in this particular counter till 3,000, 3,200. So as of now, I would advise him to even average at this particular level and keep a stop loss below 2,600, and overall upside is seen till 3,200.
All right, let's move on then. Rakesh Kumar is writing in from Panchkula. He says he has Tilak Nagar Industries. The entry price is 441. He intends to hold the stock for the next 1 to 2 years. Please share the views on the stock. Coming to you, Gaurang. Tilak Nagar Industries, he can hold it for the next 1 to 2 years. Would you recommend a hold?
Well, again, see, we are positive on this particular sector, but we don't have coverage on Tilak Nagar Industries. Don't have much of insight or input on the company's balance sheet or the kind of working. I would say that possibly look at either something in defense. I'm not recommending a sell over here. I'm just giving alternative investment ideas. So maybe a BEL could be a good candidate near about the same level where Tilak Nagar Industries trading. So BEL from Defense Pack, and maybe if I have to look at an NBFC stock which came out with numbers, which was again still a set of numbers, is L&T Finance, or maybe something in the banking pack, something like a Federal Bank. So these would be the alternative preferred destinations.
All right, Mr. Shyam Sundar Yadav from Jaipur wants to know about Bata, and the time horizon is 1 year. Is this good for holding for that time frame? His buy price is 750. Gaurang, do you have a coverage?
So on Bata India, again, Kavita, we used to have a coverage some time back. The stock is under review, so I won't go into specifics, but things have improved for better for Bata India, Kavita, in terms of the cheap footwear which was dumped from China and Bangladesh. Government acted appropriately. Then government has come out with a policy for footwear and leather related industries, which is also going to augur well, which will translate into positivities. And I was listening into the commentary from the management. They are closing down unviable stores. They are making themselves present in a larger and a better way in terms of metros, tier 2, tier 3 cities. They have launched certain very interesting products across the board for kids, for youngsters, for middle-aged people, and also for senior citizens. There has been a change, unfortunately, since the coverage is in the review. I won't go into buy, sell, and hold, Kavita.
Jigar, can you help?
See, Bata India is clear-cut buy at this level. Again, since last 3-4 days, the consolidation is happening, and in today's particular session, again, the trendline support is taken, and we are trading above the previous consolidation zone. So based on daily chart, I'm expecting at least 800, 820 as a target, and he can even add at this particular level and even near 7110, and stop loss would be kept below 650 on daily closing basis.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Abdul Sattar is writing in from Rajasthan. He says he has PG Electroplast. The entry price is 597. He's not given the holding period, but Gaurang, I'll come to you. For PG Electroplast, say for the next 1 year, he's sitting at a profit. Would you recommend a hold? What should be the strategy?
Extremely positive and disclosure, Ankita, we do have positive coverage, and I think the entire electronics, EMS, PCB, semiconductor chips, with the kind of policy that the Honorable Minister unveiled, I think it was last week or the week before, along with that, huge capability and capacity already in place, and a lot of these companies, Kavita, are increasing their capacity. And that possibly tells you the kind of potential for these companies to grow in terms of local demand as well as exporting to the rest of the world. So India as of now and some time back was net importer of all these chips, PCBs, semiconductors. With these facilities in place, there is the possibility that after taking care of its own need, India could be exporting to the rest of the world. So it's a huge turnaround. Stay invested.
All right, with that, thank you so much, both of you, for taking your time out and answering all the stock-specific questions for our viewers today. Thank you. And let's move on. The Cockroach Janta Party begins its Chalo Sansad protest march amid heavy security deployment at the Jantar Mantar, Delhi. Delhi police lathi charge protesters as they head towards the parliament on the first day of the monsoon session. Our colleague Shivam Sharma joins in for more details. Shivam.
This is the third layer of barricading that has been broken down by the protesters. They were marching towards the Sansad. This is the Sansad mark. We are just a few meters away from the Parliamentary Street police station. And currently also you are seeing these are the protesters here. Just now the Aam Aadmi Party's two main faces, Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, just jumped over the barricades and they went inside to meet the protesters here. You are also currently seeing how there are certain protesters who are running towards the crowd. There is a proper security barricading being made by the RPF officials, RAF officials, but still, so far it seems like for now there have been a breach of the entire thing, the entire test.
All right, with that, it's time to pull down the curtains on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Kavita and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. Markets at noon is coming up next.